I have water today. Boo. Tomatoes, tomatoes. I'm throwing tomatoes. I didn't go get coffee yet, but I will after this video. It'll be like a reward. This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Thank you so much, Squarespace, for sponsoring today's video. Hello, Shutty Bays. Hello, besties. I will not be trying to do an interesting intro like I did in the last video because we all remember how that turned out. You guys know what video this is. I am going to be showing you every book I read in, I want to say September. Am I right though? Indeed, September. I'm going to be going through every book I read, telling you what I rated it and a little bit about it. No spoilers in this. And I'll also be telling you if I read it Kindle or paperback or audio or what have you. My reading slump is slowly going away. As you guys know, I've been in a reading slump for like 2 to 3 months and I've been kind of like forcing myself to try to get out of it. But this month, let me just say, some gems really took me out of my reading slump and I am pleased to say the least. So hopefully next month I'll have a lot of books to show you, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. I started September with an audiobook and that is The Godparent Trap by Rachel Van Dyken. I love this cover, so obviously I had to also own it, but I did listen to this. This book I bought because I thought it sounded like The Parent Trap. Is that a good reason to buy a book? I'm unsure. I'm thinking no, but yet here we are. Living, breathing proof that you can do it, even though it's not a good idea. Anyway, The Godparent Trap. This book, picture life as we know it, but make it book form. Story time. I went to a Black Eyed Peas concert once because someone got me tickets and I went and I was there like kind of right in the front. I was like at the section where there's like a taped off line and then the celebrity and the important people are ahead of me. And the important person in front of me, guess who he was? Josh Duhamel. Yep, he was there watching Fergie and I was there also watching Fergie, but also low-key watching him. He did not pay me any mind though. Back to our regularly scheduled programming, The Godparent Trap is exactly like life as we know it, as I was saying before I got a little sidetracked. You have Colby and you have Rip, and it is dual POV, and they don't like each other at all, but their best friends are the same. They're all like kind of in a really close friend group, except Colby and Rip don't like each other at all. They tried going on a date one time because there was a little physical attraction there, but it went badly and they kind of never talked about it again. And now they have this animosity towards each other. And that's fine, all dandy and such, right? They can avoid each other, but then their best friends die, pass away, goodbye. And so they're forced to take care of the kids. 2 kids. The best friends had 2 kids and the 2 kids are now under the guardianship of Colby and Rip. That's where this book gets a little sad. I was ready for it to be sad because obviously the premise of it is not the best, like your best friends passing away and you having to take care of their kids. But the book had a lot of cute and funny moments, but it's like the plot is really upsetting if you really think about it. And obviously you watch these characters go through this grief, you watch the kids go through the grief and stuff, but the book in itself was really, really cute. I will say the kids made it for me. Like Colby and Rip, I liked them, but I wasn't really invested in their story separately or together, to be honest, but they were cute and they were fine. But the kids were the main point for me. Like they were so funny, so funny at like the most outrageous moments. They would say the funniest shit. And I would be like, yes, this is amazing. This is incredible. I love children. This book was cute. I rated it a 4. It's not astonishing, but it's also not bad. It's just like, it was good. It was good. There were some things that I didn't like about it. There were some things I wasn't invested in, but overall, I don't regret reading it. So it was a 4. In search of trigger warnings, even though the whole plot is already a big trigger warning. Then I listened to First Flight, Final Fall. I don't even remember who this book is by. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't remember the characters' names. I remember the premise of it, okay? You have this girl who's a soccer player and she is really, really fucking good. So she gets like on this team for the summer and she goes and that's where she meets this very famous soccer player and starts getting to know him. That's kind of the premise of the book. It was bad. It was really bad. I rated it a 2 and that's just because I liked, what did I like about it? Why did I rate it a 2? Oh, because soccer. I fucking love soccer. Futebol no Brasil, quite literally the only sport I will watch and the only sport that I've ever tried to play. I'm not that good, but I can play it. Like if you put a ball on my fucking feet, I'll know how to play it. Whereas if you give me a basketball or a football or some shit. But soccer, I love it. Eu sou brasileira, eu tenho que adorar futebol. É assim, requirement of being Brazilian, you have to like soccer, right? That's kind of the only part of this book I liked. I literally went into it because of the soccer and I'm trying to prepare for the World Cup, trying to gear myself up, get myself ready. So I was like, oh, let me read some more soccer books. And then I read this and now I regret everything. The people in this book are so fucking annoying, you guys. Like, listen, the guy had no personality at all. Like, I don't know anything about him besides the fact that he's a professional soccer player. He was so boring. Like, to his core, he was boring, okay? And the girl had personality. but hers was bad. She was very, very cocky, and I love confidence. Don't get me wrong. I love some Rose Calloway confidence, okay? A woman that knows her worth, a woman that knows that she's a bad bitch and she deserves everything. I love that. As you should. But she came off very selfish and very much like, I'm better than everyone. And at that point, I don't like it. And she was also very judgy of other girls, and like, just in general, she was like, oh, my friend liked this guy, but then he liked me. Like, ew. I'm throwing up. And then the plot was not there. It was literally just them hooking up the whole time. I feel like you don't need trigger warnings for this one, but I don't really remember. So maybe search them up just in case. 2 stars just for the soccer. Then I read The American Roommate Experiment by Elena Armas. You guys know that I love the Spanish love deception with my whole heart. So of course I was so excited to read this book. Can you even see it? It kind of looks like it's too bright. Can you see the book, you guys? Can you see it? Kiss me beneath the milky twilight. Anyway, took a little detour there. The American Roommate Experiment, you guys. I was very excited for this because I love the Spanish love deception. One of my favorite books, 5 stars. Aaron Blackford, love him so much, right? And this is not the second, but it is. It's about different characters. So basically like interconnected standalones kind of vibe. Rosie is Lena's best friend from the Spanish love deception, and Lucas is Lena's cousin from the Spanish love deception. And then you get their story in this one. This book was really cute, but let me just say that it was not the Spanish love deception for me. A lot of people said Lucas beat Aaron for them. I cannot relate to that. Lucas was great, don't get me wrong, but he wasn't Aaron Blackford. If you didn't like the Spanish love deception, I don't know if you would like this book because it's kind of the same vibe, but at the same time, it had so many different things to it that maybe you should give this a try. Basically, the American Roommate Experiment, you have Rosie, and she is currently living in Lena's apartment because hers, something went wrong with it, and while they're fixing it, she's living in Lena's place. Everything's going well until one night, someone knocks on the door, and she's like, who the fuck is that? And it's Lucas. Lucas trying to get into the apartment that he's also supposed to be living in for the foreseeable future because Lena and Aaron are in their honeymoon. And Lena told Lucas he could stay there while she's in her honeymoon. And then Rosie's also staying there because of her apartment. So that's where you have the roommate experiment because they start living there together. This was cute, like I said. Lucas is definitely cinnamon roll hero. Like he was so fucking cute. The things he did for Rosie throughout the entire book, like the way he really showed her he cared about her. And it is a friends to lovers, whereas the Spanish love deception was like enemies to lovers. And Rosie was a very lovable character. So was Lucas. I liked them a lot separately and I liked them together. I just feel like the plot is what really didn't hit for me. In the Spanish love deception, when they go to Spain, that's when a lot of shit happens. And that's the best part of the book. And then here you didn't really have that. It had the premise to be amazing. And I just feel like it wasn't, but it also wasn't horrible whatsoever. I would still recommend it and I would still tell you to read it. It just wasn't a 5-star read, if that makes sense. It was a 4. I liked it though. It was sweet. It's just, I feel like nothing compares to the Spanish love deception. Maybe my expectations were a little bit too high. American Roommate Experiment, 4 stars. Then the next one, I don't own the physical copy to quite yet. I don't know if I'm going to because I don't like the covers all that much. But if I'm obsessed with the series, maybe I will. But it's Cruel King by Rena Kent. I'm gonna start going through Rena Kent's universe. And I know there's a specific reading order and all of that. So I'm following that. And Cruel King is the first one. It is the Royal Elite series. And this is like book 0. The next one's book 1. So a lot of people skip this one, but I didn't. I just wanted to read it. It's about Astrid and Levi, and I'm pretty positive it's dual POV. Yes, it's dual POV. I don't remember their personalities. What happened in this book? Oh, it's like a bully romance. They're both in high school and something happens one night and Levi like doesn't want Astrid to talk about what she saw that night. And so he starts bullying her into not saying anything. But then, you know, bullying backfires because he falls in love. I haven't read a bully romance in a really long time, so I was a bit thrown off by this. And I think that's why I didn't love it as much as I could have. I rated it at 3.75. I still am so excited for the rest of the series, which is why I rated this at 3.75, because the side characters and like the people that are gonna get books, I'm so fucking excited for it. And just in general, Rena Kent, I'm very looking forward to reading the rest of her books because the writing I really did enjoy. But this one just didn't hit for me like it should have. Certain things just kind of made me laugh because I haven't read bully romances in so long, so I wasn't prepared. Like at one point he like paints all of her canvases black and he's like, don't fuck with me. I don't know why that made me laugh so hard. I was like, okay, and and he was all like, call me king. I was like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up immediately. But Astrid, I loved. She was a whole queen. I really, really liked her. And I feel like the rest of the girls in the series are gonna hit really different for me, but I just could not take the bully romance seriously in this book. I feel like bully romances are very difficult to get right. You have to have a balance of like really fucking mean and like normal. You can't have it be silly. And I feel like some of the things that happen in this one were like silly bully romances. I don't know. It's just shit that I would laugh at if it was me. But then at the same time, I don't want the bully romance to be so fucking mean that I would cry. So I don't know. It's very hard to get right for me, which is why it's not a trope I read as often, but I'm so excited to see the rest of Rena Kent's universe. I'm always down to try new tropes. Even if it's a trope I don't love, like pregnancy trope or insta love, I still have books that I love with that trope. You know, I don't have any that I'm like, oh, I can't read that. So I'm excited to see the rest of the universe. This one wasn't my favorite, but I'm not upset that I read it. And Rena Kent, I'm pretty sure all of her books are dark romances, so please search up trigger warnings. Then I read Enemies. I listened to this one on Audible, but yes, I do own the paperback. Mind your business once again. This book follows Stone and Dusty. So Stone and Dusty have known each other since they were kids, but something happens with their family and they don't talk anymore. But now she moved to a new town where he's like the football god of that town. He is in the NFL and something happens again and he's the only one that's there for her. He's kind of the only person she has left. And so he starts trying to help her, but she doesn't want anything to do with him. I did not like this at all. I rated it a 2.5. There were parts of it that I did enjoy, like the beginning. I liked the whole point of the book. I liked the idea. But as the book went on, I was like, what the fuck? Like, Dusty goes through so much. They threw her under the mud. It was trauma after trauma after trauma. She could not catch a fucking break. Like, it's like everything bad that could ever happen to anyone happened to Dusty. I just wouldn't even be left standing if it was me. I quite literally had anxiety throughout this whole book. I need to read happy books. I need to read books that make me escape things that I'm constantly thinking about. This one wasn't one of those because it in fact made me more anxious. Stone was there. He was there. He was fine. He kept calling her a bitch, which I was like, you better back the fuck up. My girl just went through so fucking much and you're calling her a bitch? I'll fight you right now. But other than that, he was like, whatever, didn't care for him at all. Like, it's like he wasn't part of the story for me. And Dusty she was strong. Let's just say that because wow. Yeah, 2 stars. Trigger warnings out the wazoo with this one, y'all. Next, I read Tutoring the Player by Rebecca Jenchak. Oh my God, look at this cover. It is so, so cute. I read this on my Kindle, but I needed to own the paperback. It was like required of me pretty much. This book follows Jordan and Daisy and it is dual POV. Daisy is like the shy, quiet, smart girl and she always likes the good guy. In fact, there is a good guy that she likes on the hockey team, but just as she's gaining up the courage to ask him out and to try to hang out with him, another one of the hockey players asks her to tutor him and that is Jordan. Jordan is definitely not the good guy. He's kind of the playboy of the hockey team. He fucks around a lot. He doesn't want anything serious. And she starts tutoring him. Right off the bat, I liked the idea of that because I love that plot. And this book did not let me down. The plot was super fun. The characters were great. There's also the next one that's called Hating the Player. I will be reading that next month. I'm so excited. I rated it a 4.25. It was very cute. I really like Jordan. I really like Daisy. It felt very much like a bad boy, but not to her. He wasn't a douchebag at all. I really liked him throughout the whole book. The ending is so fucking cute. I was just swooning the entire time. This was definitely one of those that had me giddy from the very beginning and had me hooked from the very beginning. So I would say that if you're in a reading slump, try Tutoring the Player. It is not like life-changing. That's not why I'm reading anyway. I'm reading to just escape. I'm reading for fun. I don't need life-changing books. It was very, very cute. Tutoring the Player, 4.25. Next up, I have my new favorite sports romance of all time, you guys. It is Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I've talked about this in my last video, my Kindle Rex video, and I will probably be talking about it for many, many times to come. It's about Anastasia and Nathan, and it is dual POV. Anastasia is the, what are those things called? What are those things called? Oh my God. The things that you, ice, baby. Ice skater. She's an ice skater. Anastasia's an ice skater. And Nathan is the captain of the hockey team. She is grumpy, he is sunshine. And they both go to the same college. And one day, one of the rinks in the school something happens to it and they can't use it anymore. So now the hockey team and the ice skaters have to share a rink. And then not only that, but Anastasia's partner gets injured and Nathan offers to be her partner for the time being so that she can practice. I loved this book. I have nothing but amazing things to say about it. Don't ask me to say anything bad about it because I won't. I won't. It is so good. It has the best fucking friend group. Every single person in this group is amazing and they're all so different. There was a lot of diversity throughout every single one of them, diversity in all ways, and they were so close. It felt like they both actually were friends with other people. Like a lot of the times I feel like in romance books, the friends are just side characters. This one, it felt like the friends did just as much as they did for the book. And I really, really enjoyed that, especially because there's gonna be more books. So I'm so excited to see that come to life and this friend group continue to amaze me, honestly. Henry, as soon as you get a book, Henry, I'm there because you're my favorite. I also love JJ. Oh my God, I love them all. I'm so excited for them all. Anyway, close friend group, reverse grumpy sunshine, a little bit of forced proximity, a little bit of frenemies to lovers, very sex positive. It spoke about therapy in a very, very amazing way. It's exactly what I would like to see from therapy in books. Everything about it, I have no complaints. Search up trigger warnings. It is incredible. It is phenomenal. Please read this book if you haven't yet. It is my new favorite sports romance. I even annotated the shit out of it. And for someone that was in a really bad slump, that's crazy. I love you. I really do. 5 stars. The last 6 books I read this month, I'm not going to be going into too much detail on because I want to make a video about this author. That's where I'll be telling you everything. But let me just show you. Kennedy Ryan. I'll be making a video on Kennedy Ryan soon. So let me not literally overwhelm you with all the details now because then I'll be just saying it again in that video and that's redundant, you know? I read this novella, The Close-Up. This novella is Naz and Takira, and Takira is a best friend from Real. You meet her there and then this is her story. I rated it 4. It was a very cute novella. I really liked Takira. I really like Naz. I loved seeing their story. I loved seeing the characters from Hoops. All of it was really, really well done. Yes, 4 stars. And Hoops, you guys. I finally read Hoops. It took me long enough. The first book is Long Shot. The second one is Block Shot. And the third one is Hook Shot. These are basically interconnected standalones. So you meet the characters as you go. I would highly recommend going in order. If you don't want some trigger warnings to be given to you from the Hoops trilogy, skip this part. But I'm just going to tell you some of the major ones so that you don't go into it expecting cute, fluffy sports romances, because that's definitely not what it is. Long Shot, sexual assault, and domestic violence, both trigger warnings, and everything is done very, very graphically. There are also many, many more trigger warnings for that one, so please search up the full list. And then Block Shot, cheating, I would say, is the biggest trigger warning in that one, because I know a lot of people hate that, and that's practically what the whole book is about. It's not like the MCs cheating on each other, but there is a big cheating trope in that book. There are other trigger warnings for that one too. And then same with Hook Shot, a lot of trigger warnings. Just the whole trilogy is not cute, fluffy sports romances. The romances are incredible and they are very well done, and I love the characters and all of that, but don't expect fluffiness and just light and cute and sports, you know, don't expect that. If you go into it knowing that it's going to be deeper and knowing that it's going to be heavy books, and if you search up your trigger warnings ahead of time, I think you can have a very great time with this series and you can learn a lot and you can really invest yourself in these characters. I just don't want you to go into it expecting something that it's not. Please search up the full list. Those are just some of the trigger warnings. I love this series with my whole heart and I would highly recommend it, but be sure you're ready for it. With that being said, Long Shot is August and Iris, Block Shot is Banner and Jared, and Hook Shot is Keenan and Lotus, and all of them are a little bit connected. I don't want to spoil anything for you, but I rated Long Shot 5 stars, Block Shot 4.5 stars, and Hook Shot 5 stars. This series in itself is just incredible. Search up trigger warnings for all of them. Hook Shot is definitely my favorite in the series, but I really enjoyed them all. And I finished the book with more Kennedy Ryan. I don't know why I said I finished the book with more Kennedy Ryan. I definitely meant I finished the month with more Kennedy Ryan. But, you know, I'm a fool and I didn't correct myself. So now here I am. In all the Kingsmen duet, you have the Kingmaker and Rebel King. You cannot read Rebel King without reading Kingmaker. It is about the same couple. It follows Lennox and Maxim, and they're both from different sides of the world, and you kind of get to see them come together. I don't want to tell you too much about these because it's so special kind of going into it blindly, but there is a lot of politics in these books. There's a lot of important topics, and the romance is also phenomenal. There's also spice and all of that, but in typical Kennedy Ryan fashion, we get spice and we get romance, but with also all the emotion and all the important topics. I adored it. I rated both of them 4.5. I can't tell you about the second book without spoiling anything because it goes directly from the first book. So I'm not gonna spoil it for you. So when you're in the mood for a more serious book that is also full of romance and amazingness and incredible characters, the Kingsmen duet, I will be reading the third one next month. I'll tell you what I think of it, but 4.5 for both of these. If you haven't read Kennedy Ryan yet, please do. Always search up trigger warnings for her books. I will be talking about it more in length when I make my Kennedy Ryan videos, so I try to make this as quick as possible. Before you leave, Shawty Bays, let me talk to you about Squarespace. Squarespace is basically an online platform where you can create your own website or domain. And with that website, you can create a community where you can show likes, comments, shares. You have third-party tools that can help you ship across the globe, streamline bookkeeping, promote products, manage inventory, and you can file sales tax and ship across the globe. With Squarespace, you can really connect with your audience and you can generate revenue through gated members-only content. You can manage your members, you can send email communications, and you can leverage your audience insights. If all of that sounds interesting to you, Shawty Bays, go to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you are ready to launch, you can click the link in my description and you can get 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Okay, that's it, Shawty Bays. I love you.